Okay, we got 23 minutes on this one, but I think it's gonna be faster than that. But yeah. Recently, I've been thinking about a couple of things that, with everything going in Iran and yeah, the regime and whatever. Even before the first missile that was launched towards Iran in this year, I had this kind of prediction that yeah, this regime is gonna explode or implode. So yeah, basically everyone in Iran is literally starving to death now, or businesses are collapsing and whatever. And yeah, people are not gonna just be left with nothing to lose and still bow to like some random like government that cannot keep itself even like going. And this is like to put in perspective, like this regime is gonna collapse before even making it to 50 years with the strongest ideological excuse to run, which is theology, which is God, because you're not facing people who want more. You're facing God, the next world, the next whatever. So to put it into perspective, the previous religious heavy kind of tyranny that ran for 500 years. We call it Osmanis in Farsi. I don't know how it's called in English. 500 years. Now these pieces of shit cannot even make it to 50 years. Even if not this year, the next year they're gonna collapse, which is not gonna even get to next year because the pattern is very clear. This regime had so we're now in 1404 years in Iranian current calendar. So it's 1404, and the previous uprising was in 1403. Before that was 1402. Before that was 1401. Before that was 100, 1399. So after before that was 1396. Before that was 1392. Before that 1388. Before that 78. So you see, like even you're literally dotting the discrepancy and the how rampant these uprisings are. It's clear. Like we have 10 years gap, then you have 7 years gap, then you have five, then you have every single year. They started killing people with the numbers of maybe a couple of hundreds. Then it escalated towards 3,000. Then a couple of more thousand. Now you have literally the state media itself saying it's 3,000, and the estimation is up to literally 50,000 at this point in 2 nights. So this is on the one side of the geopolitical game that is being played from China to Russia to United States, the Arab kind of countries. That is literally my own expertise, which is literally the geopolitical tension of the whole thing. I literally studied public international law and the whole analysis of everything going on with these, not only on the lived experience aspect, but also on the academic aspect. And also, this is literally fucking clear logic. And all of that apart, that this regime stands, we're gonna just forget about it. The funny thing is that everyone other than actual Iranian people are siding with this regime because the control of narrative run by people who actually run the narrative around the globe is that Trump is bad, Netanyahu is bad, like these people eat children and they kill children and whatever. I don't give a fuck who the fuck Trump is. I don't give a fuck who Netanyahu is, who the fuck all of these people are. But in the lived experience of who the fuck is literally governing the country with 2,000 and plus years of actually fucking history, that gave rights to women to vote before the whole Europe, the whole thing. Even a lawyer friend of mine who is a chief editor of one of the best privacy kind of articles around the globe, was citing Hammurabi as the first kind of resemblance of civilization and lawmaking, which, surprise, surprise, is fucking Iran and the Persian Empire. So, to have that country with all of these kind of resources at the literally pivotal point of geopolitical placement be this kind of a poor country with not even disproportionately lower threshold of population to the resource abundance that's running there, that requires something that no Trump, no Netanyahu, no fucking, not a single piece of shit, even fucking Epstein himself cannot achieve. Because that requires a specific persona of demented mentality towards a very specific kind of God that you believe in and actually believe in, rather than actually use an excuse. Because if you were to actually use that as an excuse, it would benefit yourself in your dictatorship. And this is what baffling to me. These people cannot hold their own dictatorship throne run by the most ideologically kind of apt system of governance that previously ran the world for 500 years in the empire of Osmanis by the Sunnis. They cannot run this fucking country in this kind of pivotal placement of geopolitical positioning for 50 years even. They're starving their own people. They cannot even actually fucking defend their own position, even in running the narrative, other than making the world believe because of 10 people who actually have access to influencing the media, and they're paying them to influence the Western media, all of that. These people are gonna collapse. And it's not even gonna be 2027, before that even. Because there is the whole geopolitical chess match being played here. That China is involved, Russia is involved, Taiwan is involved, Ukraine is involved, Arab countries are involved. Literally, China, the first missile that was pointed towards the Arab countries, China is ready to sign a defense deal with all of the Arab countries to literally push U.S. influence back. And you think this kind of demented people who believe in some demented kind of sort of God that no one actually believes in its actual fucking validity of existence, these people are gonna literally push it back. All of that aside, what has this done to actual people of Iran is that the other fascinating part of the story, that I'm gonna make it personal, that in these 50 years, there is not a single Iranian-born, Iranian-raised person who has made it to the global actual standpoint that I know of. Sure, I could be wrong, but even me not knowing of them and knowing of people who are Iranian but literally raised elsewhere is literally in the support of my own argument. That look at Alex Hormozi. Alex Hormozi was literally Iranian. He has an Iranian father, and he was born or maybe 1 year or 2 years old in America and has a U.S. citizenship. He's not Iranian, even by the 0.00001%, because he hasn't been even exposed to that kind of environment, even as a fucking storybook. You have Ali Niknam, who is the CEO of Bank, which is the digital banking thing in the Netherlands, and he was literally moved in the Netherlands, that I'm literally living here now, when he was 7 years old. Or the other kind of Iranian startup guy that is going viral these days, who literally was born in USA, but one of his parents was Iranian. You have no one who has made it to the digital, not digital, to the global stage in these 50 years, because that's fucked up level of actual like influence this country has on people. And if you literally have lived 20 years there, your whole life and your whole stardom is dead, because that kind of demented mentality is shaping your belief system about everything. This is why people from the third countries have this kind of a fucked up father figures. You can have even the Syrian father of Steve Jobs, who made him this kind of a narcissist. Or you have literally Alex Hormozy's own dad, that before he made his first million, he was constantly contemplating suicide, because his worthlessness was doctrinated in him, because he was worthless, because his dad felt worthless if he couldn't make money. Even to this day, this man is turning 35 and still suddenly is realizing, okay, maybe I just don't want to make more money, and he's changed his obsession with money with social validation, uploading one podcast a day every single day to get more clicks and more likes from people, because his sense of worthiness is dead, because the whole DNA has transferred it to him. So this is just the funny very realization that not a single person that I see being celebrated around the globe, or even this Ashkan whatever, who is the CEO of Watch Mojo on YouTube, which is a very successful thing, and it's even like it's on my connection list in LinkedIn, so I know of the guy whenever he posts things or two. These people were not even exposed to this regime, but by even five minutes of it, because that exposure alone like fucks you up mentally so bad that my own parents literally disowned me as soon as I literally came to Netherlands, failed my first exam, and I was not a person to them anymore after 25 years. Because that's the mentality of survival that it gives you. And that's a fascinating part of it, because I disown my parents as well, because when you are seeing people through that lens, you need to be ready to be viewed through the same lens yourself. And what fascinates me about this most is that this is not happening in a European country, which is run by complacency and 7 layers of social benefits. A parent is not gonna blame their children for to achieve something. Sure, this gonna not make them a Steve Jobs or Alex Hormozy, but it's gonna make the parent and the child relationship way more sustainable in the long run, because there is no value system on either side based on how much you can get out of them. And this is not to say that Iranian parents are evil. No, because their whole value system is survival, that if my child cannot, the same goes for Asian parents. I have a couple of Chinese friends who are like this, that are valued as this honor generating machine for their parents, because a friend of mine was literally disowned by their parents after he changed from he to she, because that was how he or she at the time felt to be, because these metrics are not accepted in those societies to be value generating system for your survival. You're disowned out of either the shame of having disregarded your survival for actual humanity of yourself, or even worse, that your parents say, okay, if I'm not hard on my children, they're not gonna even fucking survive. I'd rather my children alive than happy. That's the calculation running in the back of their head, and this is seamless across generations. The Steve Jobs obsession comes from the Syrian dad he had, and he literally hated to the depths of his heart. Despite all of the love he achieved, he literally received from his adopted parents. The same thing goes with Alex Hormozi, Ali Niknam, or this kind of Mojo guy. All of them. And this is the claim that I'm gonna make, because I'm very kind of well calibrated to make this claim with all of the exposure to Japanese government, to Canadian government, to United States Harvard connections, as well as European Parliament, European Commission into my radar, as well as a couple of people I know these days, even in the span of 2 years. And I'm gonna make this claim that maybe I'm just gonna actually be the first actual person out of fucking Iran who has fucking lived this life, rather than, oh, Iranian billionaire that you literally go look them up 5 seconds. This motherfucker was not even fucking in Iran. This motherfucker was literally born in US citizenship. You can max out your credit card 50 times a year, and after that, one of your startups is gonna literally take off, because 49 previous attempts were on were on literally fucking flat air. And this is the part that I don't even understand about Americans bitching about high pricing for their kind of medical things. And I don't have exact kind of information on this. I have a couple of American friends, but this is baffling to me. In Europe, you literally have zero money. As soon as your bank account is at zero, you have zero. You can ask your bank for a loan if you're European and you can ask for 5,000 or whatever, but it has condition, and there's a time for it to be accepted. So you ask today, maybe you're accepted tomorrow. So you need to make it to tomorrow. But at least in America, it's you need to literally go over your credit score with zero, with nothing, with nada, rien. And you can literally, after that, you're gonna file for bankruptcy and whatever. The filing part for the bankruptcy is what actually fucking takes time. I could be wrong, and when you hit zero, you hit zero. But at least what it seems like is that at least you can literally have 10 failed businesses and still attempt the 11th one, and of course the numbers game is gonna be in your fucking favor. So there's no wonder when every fucking billionaire, every fucking successful Iranian that you see has had no fucking exposure, not only to this government, the motherfucker hasn't even set foot in fucking Iran. Alex Hormozi has never been to fucking even Iran. I literally put my fucking 500 euros that I literally have in the bank now on it. Or the Ashkan guy, or the Iranian kind of startup guy that was going viral at 25, 6, whatever. And the first time I heard this, I literally had a heart attack. How the fuck there is this Iranian guy at 26 becoming a billionaire? Or having a successful startup. I'm fucking 26. That's a literally existential kind of threat to me that I have done less than a 26 years old at my age with my fucking blood in their veins and the same heritage and in the same fucking environment. I literally looked them up, and this motherfucker hasn't even been 1 fucking minute in Iran. It's a fucking US citizenship badge on his fucking chest. Or the other guy, I had a connection in Harvard, and I was literally applying for a PhD in Harvard, and I had a couple of emails back and forth with this kind of Harvard University kind of a professor, and he proposed me 2 or 3 positions. And as soon as I applied, he said, "Oh, you're Iranian." The same fucking week, there is this kind of guy, Panahi or whatever, who was literally posted upon the LinkedIn of Harvard, and we're delighted to receive this Iranian guy to our ranks. And I was like, how? Why? Like, what the fuck? And I looked the guy up. He's Canadian. He's Canadian Iranian. Basically, because of the Canadian citizenship, he's literally gonna be buddies with US. I have a fucking travel ban to get over. I'm a high risk hire, even in fucking Europe. So, and this is the funny part as well. Like, I had this conversation with a European Parliament member who literally invited me to Brussels based on my framework, and literally bitched off the last moment when the ceasefire actually happened and it didn't serve his agenda. And I literally told him, why the fuck are you like saying Iranian passport is useless when people you actually want to prevent using this passport are UK citizens, France citizens, because they pay for it. So if you want to prevent IRGC members to infiltrating Europe, you just make them pay a fee for having IRGC affiliation, because they're paying the money anyways, and leave the fucking passport alone, because my passport is literally the worst passport in the fucking world, other than fucking Uganda or some random fucking never in their own history having a whiff of civilization country. Iran was not like this. 50 years ago, Iran was the peak kind of epitome of evolution in the Middle East, in whole of Asia. It was literally on par with China in innovation and in actual civilizational kind of leap it was fucking taking. And it was even then the regression of Iranian kind of evolution based on its history. Now this fucking 50 years what has happened. So this just baffles me, that the understanding of Iranian this, Iranian that. That motherfucker hasn't been even 5 minutes in fucking Iran. I literally was in Shiraz when the Mahsa Amini thing happened, and they literally cut out our SIM card and internet for 2 months. For 2 months, I literally was watching recorded series and recorded pornography to actually entertain myself. That's it. There was no access to internet or even fucking messages. Can you even fucking imagine that in a fucking European country?